Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? Okay. Back in the old days, like 2 years ago, shopping for groceries was actually a joy. It was a means of ways for us to just get out of the house. And now it is shocking and it's miserable. You just look at the prices and wonder if you can even afford normal foods that we just used to take for granted. And everyone knows about the egg problem. I've gone over it I don't know how many times, and it's being chalked up because of the flu. And the prices of eggs is up dramatically because of all the costs that are associated with making them available to customers. Okay. At first, there was just a shortage because grocery chains resisted the price increases. Well, once they came back to the shelves, the cost dramatically rose. And you're going to pay more for the worst eggs than the best eggs cost only just a year ago, unless you know someone with chickens, or you have them yourself, or you are stuck within the shells and the light yellow yolks forever. I mean, while you're paying through the nose for them. It's awful. So the bottom line is undeniable. In a mere 2 years, many of the things that you loved, healthy food for your family, and I'm not talking about the all carb diet that they want us to adopt. No, it has doubled in price. Some is up 50%, and some is up 150%. And this damage is absolutely not captured in the CPI, which has huge drawbacks by being calculated on an annual basis and for being a weighted index number that fails to capture the reality on the ground. Okay, the reality you see on the shelves of your local store, the grocery prices tell you the truth that we're all being pillaged here. And the pillaging is not limited to this problem, however. And by the way, this is not going to improve. It would take a dramatic deflation to restore our living standards. The Fed will never permit that. And at best, their intention is to take down the inflation rate to 2%. And it now stands at about 6%. So, and that's a maybe right now. So even if it happens to fall to zero, all prevailing prices will stick. That means that we're being robbed at the grocery store. And the fundamentals of household finances are getting even worse as well. Credit card balances are way up, savings is way down, and real income, which is adjusted for inflation, has been falling now for 21 months straight. Truly, it is panic time for people, and we are so beaten down and exhausted that people are just not panicking anymore. Most people are just in exhaustion of the shock and the awe to which they have been subjected to. Now, the charts that I showed you, okay, these portend terrible things for our future, okay? It truly means the end of prosperity. In fact, middle class people barely remember what that was like, even though we experienced it as recently as 2019. We really didn't have to choose between eating good food and heating our homes, paying our cell phone, or going on vacation, drinking good wine, or going to the gym. We could do all of those things and not have worries. Well, that's not going to happen anymore. Our living standards have been taken down a peg, or actually several pegs. Of course, it doesn't affect the very wealthy that gathered this week in Davos. Okay, that they have all the resources they need, and they can continue to live as they always have lived, and the rest of us who are being ground into the dirt. Okay, so note to the smaller packages of everything. Okay, shrinkflation, that's what I'm referring to, with producers shaving off several ounces every few weeks. Try to buy the bigger packages like 3 years ago, like what you were buying 3 years ago, and you are likely out of luck. Like your bigger packages of coffee, your bigger packages of cereal, your bigger packages of sugar, your bigger packages of any kind of grain or anything like that. Okay, it's the same price, but it's half the size. I mean, did humanity suddenly desire smaller quantity of things? No, they did not. This is just a way to disguise price increases without letting the consumers know. So even if you were to buy, let's just say, the kids want to go out, for the night, you've got teens or tweens and you got movie tickets. Okay. The bottom line, the price is higher than than it was years ago. And that's because software added $5 convenience fee. So it's great to know that you now have to pay an extra fee for movie tickets. And it's why? Because an electronic good. It's stupid. So remember when Uber and Lyft were cheap, and it was, the cheaper way to go, even a good alternative to owning a car. Well, those days are now over. Now it costs $40 to get across town. So it's like, forget it. The prices are astronomical, while the subways are more dangerous than ever, and you might as well just not go anywhere. And this is what is happening to us. I mean, now here's a critical question for you. How was all of this accomplished? This massive increase of taxation by any means. I mean, please understand this. This was accomplished not by a certain person or by greedy corporations, but by the Federal Reserve. Okay, they have the legal power to counterfeit. They do it by buying government debt with money that had not previously existed. This new money makes its way through the economy, watering down the value of existing money. It's like this. Let's say you're holding, your kid's birthday party is coming up, okay? And you have only one can of frozen lemonade to make lemonade for all the kids. But it turns out that 50 kids show up. You do what's possible to stretch out the lemonade, but each serving gets weaker and weaker. At some point, it's just water. And the kids start to notice. So you have to explain that you bumped it up into like physical limits, and the lemonade has become even less valuable. Does that make sense to you? Okay, it's the same with the Fed. It does not matter that the dollar can buy more foreign currencies than ever. This has nothing to do with anything. What matters is not how much foreign currency it can buy, but how many goods and services it can buy. The reason it buys far less traces to outrageous monetary expansions of 2020 and 2021. Right, Patches? And that's the whole reason for all of this. At one point, monetary expansion was running 26% per year. They robbed us to fund outrageous lockdown experiment and put as many businesses and people on the payroll as possible. And they might as well have dropped money from helicopters. Now we are paying the price for this monetary malfeasance. And now for the first time ever, M2 is actually falling. Okay, how do you think that's going to work out? This mismanagement of our nation's money stock is breathtaking. And I don't know. Did you see the idea of the $1 trillion coin floating around again? This has got to be the biggest monetary hoax in history. You can't just mint a round coin out of any material, even platinum, and cause new wealth to come into existence. The idea keeps popping up, but nothing comes out of it simply because the alchemy is too obvious, even for the power of elite to pull it off. Our rulers in DC have got themselves into a real fix, a real pickle, if you will. The people are furious about what is happening, and everyone wants to know why. There is a real growing populist movement out there that simply will not go along. We aren't giving up our gas stoves. We're not going to eat bugs, and we are not going to give up our birthright to freedom just because a bunch of partying clowns in Davos tell us that we have to. We really do face a choice right now. If we do not act, and we do not choose wisely, we face a future of growing impoverishment, ill health, depreciated living standards. We are not doing this to ourselves. They are doing it to us. And they will continue on this path so long as they can get away with it. It's as simple as that. So if you are happy with living in depreciated living standards, I have nothing else to say to you. And I'm out of here. I'll see you guys in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fear less. Ciao.